The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky.
And protect your humble
The seven
servant.
watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest.
Hello again, child. What brings you here?
She stops dead as you pull the jar out of your backpack. Her voice trembles as she speaks.
You entered the vault. Please, give that to me. Give it to me now. It matters not. All that matters is that you give it to me. No, stop! Wait!
She reaches up and tears off her mask, revealing a wet skull, stained by centuries. You stare into the empty eye sockets of the undead creature before you.
I have waited centuries, watching lives come and go, while my soul lies locked in a cage.
She reaches greedily for the jar, tearing the cap off. You see a green glowing light emerge from the jar, enveloping Gratiana.
By Armadia, I feel... wet. Oh, goddess, I can feel your tears upon my face. I suppose you deserve to know. Before I knew Armadia's grace, I was a very different person. I was the concubine of Brachus Rex. But more than his lover, I was his partner. I discovered his power to feed on the source of others, and I allowed it to... No, I made it happen. As his strength grew, so too did mine. There is nothing you cannot do when you sit on the lap of a powerful king. And I did it all. But power changes a man, as he changes his nation. Brachus grew paranoid, angry, murderous. I tried not to see it. I told myself it was fine, that the stronger he became, the stronger I was. What stupid lies. I gave him more and more, trying to win him back to me. I offered him the source of whole villages. He devoured them and demanded more. The lands outside were once green and beautiful, until I came, until I turned them over to him. Now all's poison, and the dead are restless. Armadia is merciful in her love. I found this shrine while hunting a band of wizards. I found the goddess weeping for her children, and I wept too.
She pauses for a moment. If she had eyes, you're sure she'd be wiping them.
Through Armadia, I saw my sins, and I could bear it no longer. I threw myself from the cliff at the entrance. I tried to rid the world of my evil, but Brachus would not allow it. He brought me back from the Hall of Echoes, locked my soul away, and demanded my obedience. Even in death, he commanded me. I spent far too little time there. It was a strange place, but there was peace. A peace I never knew before. Perhaps someday. For now, the world lies at my feet, and I have an eternity to see it, to praise Armadia's name. But first...
She drops the now empty soul jar to the ground, smashing it to pieces with her foot.
You have my thanks. brother.
She starts to speak, but chokes back a sob instead.
Thank you. I can't. I've never known such kindness. Thank you for everything. May you walk forever in Armadia's grace.
The birds are asleep.
Hello again, child. What brings you here?
The seven watch o'er us. You're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
Smoke and screams, echoes of death. Gareth, please come back.
Maybe we should fortify this place. Make us down. No, we don't have the time.
Wished bonny bird, now don't you cry.
Gareth, you know what to do.
The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
Smoke and screams, echoes of death. Gareth, please come back.
Maybe we should fortify this place. Make us down. No, we don't have the time. Think it out. Gareth, you know what to do.
Wished bonny bird, now don't you cry. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, we're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes,
Smoke and screams,
rest your wee head.
echoes of death. Gareth, please come back.
Wished bonny bird, now don't you cry. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, we're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
Smoke and screams, echoes of death. Gareth, please come back.
It's all we have. We're done for.
Wished bonny barn, now don't you cry. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky.
If I had forged, I could do something.
The seven watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
Smoke and screams, echoes of death. Gareth, please come back. Go in Armadia's grace, child.
Wisht, bonny bairn, now don't you cry. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
Please, Armadia, bless and protect your humble servant. Smoke and screams, echoes of death. Gareth, please come back. Please, Armadia, bless and protect your humble servant.
Wisht, bonny bairn, now don't you cry. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
Smoke and screams, echoes of death. Gareth, please come back. Please, Armadia, bless and protect your humble servant.
Wisht, bonny bairn, now don't you cry. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, you're safe in bed.
Maybe we should fortify this place.
So
Make us
close
dance.
your sweet eyes and rest
Echoes
your
of
wee
death.
head.
No, we don't have the time.
Please, Armadia, Gareth, bless
Damn it.
and protect your
Gareth, you know
humble
what to do.
servant.
Maybe we should fortify this place. Make us stand. No, we don't have the time. Think, damn it. Gareth would know what to do.
Please, Armadia, bless and protect your humble servant. Smoke and screams, echoes of death.
Wisht, bonny bairn, now don't you cry.
Gareth,
The
please
birds
come
are
back.
asleep, the moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, you're safe in bed. So close your sweet eyes and rest your wee head.
Please, Armadia, bless and protect your humble servant.
Amidst the placid little pond, the face of a goddess lies half submerged in the water. Rivulets stream from her deep-set eyes like endless cascades of sunlit tears. You feel peaceful in her presence, soothed somehow by an intangible comfort. As you gaze upon her loving face, you find yourself drawn into a trance-like state. A voice seems to reach you from within your mind and from the furthest reaches of the stars. Its whispers caress you like a breeze. The voice grows stronger, like a breeze picking up. What were whispers become words.
My children, my children. Gone are my children. Dead are they in the cradle I have wrought.
A feeling of indescribable sadness assails you. It feels like your heart merges with the spirits, torn together by a coil of thorns.
My child, weep with me for the mother who has lost. Weep with me and bathe in the tears of Amadia.
Your tears mingle with those of the goddess down in the tranquil crystalline pond. As suddenly as it came, the voice is gone, and you wake from its presence as if from dream-filled slumber. The pond now shines with an inner light, and standing in its waters, you feel rejuvenated, pure, as if born anew.
Amadia's grace, blessings upon this day.
Smoke and screams, echoes of death. No.
Wish Bonnie Barton and don't
Please, Amadia.
A grim-faced man sifts through a pile of badly damaged weapons, salvaging the repairable, ditching the broken. He picks up a rapier, the blade nicked and splintered, the hilt twisted. He holds the damaged blade up to the light.
This was Halorn's blade. It was his first, it was also his last. He didn't intend to die here, but die here he did. He was an ordinary soul with an extraordinary heart, Halorn, and he died for what he believed. What did Halorn believe in? He believed in truth. He believed in hope. He believed that Alexander is a killer of Godwoken. I believe that on one point at least, he was right.
The point breaks away, leaving a jagged edge. The sword is shorter now, but it'll do more damage.
Who are you?
He realizes, to his surprise, that he holds the weapon in his hand, ready for battle. He smiles to himself, tucks the weapon away, and gets back to work.
Martha's axe looks serviceable.
You will be.
Hello, stranger.
The dishevelled pair eye you with hope, though their hope is tinged with mistrust. The lizard gasps as she notices the marks left on your neck by the source collar. She steps towards you.
You've come from Fort Joy. Can I ask if... Did you happen to meet a man named Gareth on your way here through the swamp?
He'll be back, Sam Adele. I know he will. He has to.
He has to, indeed. We need our leader. And if he doesn't return with help soon, we haven't a hope. You're kind to offer, but you'd best talk to Gareth's squire, Exeter. He'll know where your talents can be most used. Now, Han, let's take a look at your nasty leg injury.
Catch you later, stranger.
Thanks. I feel a lot better. You know, the other injured here could use your help too. Simone means well, but she's a cook. Her kind of healing's more suited to a steak than a man.
Claude, can you hear me?
The young woman chews her lower lip as she observes the injured before her. She bends to grab a rag, wiping her blood-smeared hands. She looks up and sees you.
If you're looking for healing, sorcerer, well, there's not much I can do.
The woman wrings the blood-stained rag in her hands anxiously.
Magisters aren't known for their mercy. Many of us died. And the ones here will likely follow the same fate, by a slower road. I've done all I can. Their wounds are too great. All I can offer them now is prayer and a cup of water. We tried. The moment we arrived here, that priestess had us bring the wounded to the spring. How I wish it would have worked. But their injuries were too great. If you know a way, I'd be beyond grateful. Do what you will. Just don't cause them any more suffering.
In an instant, my wounds have all but vanished. I didn't think. I was certain I wouldn't. Thank you. The Magister flagship. It has ballastay that tore our ship into kindling. A shard from our own mast pierced my side. I'm lucky the others managed to haul me all the way here. Especially after I saw what the Magisters did to those of us they captured.
He shudders at the memory.
They turn the living into shriekers. I wish I had a fitting way to thank the person who saved my life. As it is, all I can offer is, well, it's not much, but maybe you'll find some use for it. Thank you.
You brought him back from the brink. Thank you.
You healed me.
How did you... Oh, never mind. I don't care how. I only care that today won't be my last.
I don't remember much. I barely had time to realize the Magisters were attacking before I was injured. The last thing I saw were these things, these shriekers. Those Magisters are gonna pay in blood for what they did to us.
If my mother were here, she'd box my ears for not being able to thank you properly. Though I reckon that walloping from the Reds was punishment enough. Take this, at least. It'll have to do. Thank you.
Heal them all.
Healed? I'm healed.
And how do you have so much power?
You've healed us. All of us. I owe you a debt. We all do. The Magisters attacked our camp back at the harbour. I caught one of their arrows right in my side. That would have been a slow death. I've seen it before.
He lands a comradely slap on your back. His strength has definitely returned.
Don't you doubt it. This old war serpent's still got some fight left in him, especially now that wound is healed.
They're gonna be all right. Thank you. Thank you, gods above, thank you.
A dwarf stands by a young woman. He seems intensely focused on her, whispering and singing softly in her ear. She's staring blankly into space.
Blood and bone. Fire and smoke. Death and worse.
Hush now, Leia. They'll not hurt you again. You're safe now. Once Gareth gets back, we're going home. You'll see. He'll be fine.
The woman rubs her neck, raking her nails across her skin as she whimpers. The dwarf starts at the sound of your voice, gripping the woman's arm for a moment before he relaxes.
New faces. Hope you weren't bushwhacked by the Magisters too. This one's seen a lot today. She were in the middle of it all when the Magisters unleashed their shriekers.
Howling dogs and men. Friends silently screaming through stitched mouths.
He puts his arm around her as she starts to sob.
She's delicate at the best of times. I asked Simone for something to help. If we didn't need her to remove Urdus's collar, she'd be safe somewhere far from here. And now the rescue's scuppered. It were all for nothing. We were part of their caravan headed to Fort Joy. Shiny collars and all. Gareth and the Seekers ambushed the caravan and freed us. Saved every one of us from that hell. But now he's off searching for weapons to take down them shriekers. And all we can do is sit here, thinking about the Godwoken we didn't save.
Maybe we should fortify this place. Make a stand.
The dwarf starts to sing softly as the woman rocks slowly in her seat.
Gareth would know what to do.
Please, Armada, bless and protect your humble servant. By Armadia's grace, what did you do?
The birds are asleep.
This is incredible. In all my years, I've never seen the goddess bestow her blessing on someone. I am humbled to be in your presence. Truly, we are blessed to know you. If Armadia favors you, that is all I need to know. Go in peace, brother.
Maybe we should fortify this place. Make a stand. Martha's axe looks serviceable. No, no. We don't have the time. Think, damn it. More jobs. Gareth would know what to do. Mrs. Scrap.
Wished, bonny bairn, now don't you cry. The birds are asleep, the moon's in the sky. The seven watch o'er us, they're
Smoke and
safe in bed.
screams. Echoes of death.
So close your sweet eyes.
Please, my eternal thanks, friend. This is a debt I can never repay.
We don't have the time.
Gareth, north of here you'll find nothing in this land. Walk ever.
Wished Bonnie Barn now.
frozen ground, in the middle of a swamp. What's going on? A winter dragon.
The dragon stares you down with flinty, intelligent eyes. He tries to speak, but his jaw is bound tightly by the same thick chains that shackled him to the pillars. Unreadable glyphs mantle this ancient pillar. Braided through thick iron rings, source-infused chains bind the dragon tightly. The dragon stares you down. The dragon rakes the earth with icy claws. Quakes from the impact knock you back.
My thanks.
The freed dragon looks sick and pale. As you approach, he stretches his tattered wings weakly and fixes his intense gaze upon you. Frozen tears glint in his eyes.
My gratitude for your efforts, friend. Yet I am no more free now than I was in those chains. Please, help me find true liberty, or sing me to the endless slumber. But of course, that must be why you stand before me. Slain called to the Lord of Death, and here you are. A coincidence? Ah, my fate, it seems, is not my own to call. My soul is bound to joyless obedience. Purged of my source by the wickedest of witches, I stand enthralled to her every whim. She has only to command, and my traitorous body complies. The witch Rebecca. I was in love with her once. For the smallest slight, really a trifle, she wielded a purging wand against me, enslaving me to her will. Now only my voice remains my own. She trekked far underground beneath a nearby tower, seeking ingredients for her vile potions. I can feel her dark heart beating within my own, even from here. I await her return, yet I would prefer to welcome death in the sight of her face again. That you would even ask such a question of a stranger already in your debt. There is much goodness within you, but this task would not be easy. Rebecca is a canny one, cat to your mouse. She consumed all my source with her purging wand. So long as she holds it, she has absolute control over me. If you could retrieve it for me, I could be free again. You would have my gratitude, and whatever aid I could then offer to you.
What's this?
What's this? It looks strange. Are my eyes fooling me?
Are my
What's
eyes
this?
fooling me?
It looks strange. Are my eyes fooling me? What's this? It looks strange.
Strange.
I'm not picking that up. I could try moving it. What is this place?
A tall woman stands amid a field of corpses, some fresh, some ancient. The sour smell of them stings your nostrils, your eyes. As you draw nearer, the stench blooms into a humid flavor you can almost taste. The woman turns to you, bitten lips parting into a grin. She tucks a small bunch of black-red roses into a leather strap across her left hip and, preparing to curtsy, offers you a hand. She lowers herself slowly, deeply, holding your gaze. Her hand is slight and warm, her touch delicate. As she rises up to her full height, the stench of death and excrement assaults you. She peers closely at you, a shrewd smile playing about her lips.
Ave de more de mergalach. Ha! Never mind. I mistook you for someone else. I am Radica, and you must be here for the same reason as I.
She pats the bouquet at her hip.
But you're too late. These roses belong to me. Looks like we'll have to find some other way to keep you busy.
She bites her lip and leans in, close to your face. As she whispers, her breath, faintly fragrant with a sweet honeyish smell, caresses your ear. You almost forget where you are.
I find you rather delicious.
Suddenly, her breath sours in your mouth. It is rank, mouldering, thick with the taint of death. You try to pull away, but she is holding you tight and hard. You hear a low hum, getting louder. Before you realize what's happening, winged insects pour from her throat down yours. They ricochet around your mouth, a wet, buzzing mass, more by the second. Suddenly, all at once, they start stinging you from inside. The flies sting you and sting you and sting you. After you are almost completely spent, the witch releases you from her grasp and stands back, wiping her mouth.
Bloody delicious. Tell me, little man, do you know why the soil here is so very fertile? Do you know why it's the only place in Reaper's Coast where blood roses grow? It's the corpses, darling. Blood roses only grow in soil rich with corpses. I'll need more roses soon enough. I already started with the last traveler who interrupted me. Come, let's make next year's harvest a real bounty.
A tall woman stands amid a field of corpses, some fresh, some ancient. The sour smell of them stings your nostrils, your eyes. As you draw nearer, the stench blooms into a humid flavor you can almost taste. The woman turns to you, bitten lips parting into a grin. She tucks a small bunch of black red roses into a leather strap across her left hip and, preparing to curtsy, offers you a hand. She lowers herself slowly, deeply holding your gaze. Her hand is slight and warm, her touch delicate. As she rises up to her full height, the stench of death and excrement assaults you. She peers closely at you, a shrewd smile playing about her lips.
Ave de more de mer galach. Ha! Never mind. I mistook you for someone else. I am Radica, and you must be here for the same reason as I.
She pats the bouquet at her hip.
But you're too late. These roses belong to me. Looks like we'll have to find some other way to keep you busy.
She bites her lip and leans in, close to your face. As she whispers, her breath, faintly fragrant with a sweet honeyish smell, caresses your ear. You almost forget where you are.
I find you rather delicious. Come here.
She presses her lips to yours. Her mouth is soft, her breath sweet. She kisses you gently. Suddenly, her breath sours in your mouth. It is rank, mouldering, thick with the taste. A tall woman stands amid a field. The woman turns to you, bitten. She lowers herself as she rises up to her. She peers closely at you.
Ave de more de mi. I am.
She pats the bouquet at her.
But you're too late. These looks like we'll have to find some other way to keep.
She bites her.
I find you rather. Just because something is bad doesn't mean you ought not to do it, love.
She presses her lips to yours. Her mouth is soft, her breath sweet. She kisses you gently, then harder, her teeth raking softly across your tongue. Suddenly, her breath sours in your mouth. You hear a low hum, getting louder. Before you realize what's happening, winged insects pour from her throat down yours. They ricochet around your mouth, a wet, buzzing mass, more by the second. Suddenly, all at once, they start stinging you from inside. She stumbles back a few paces and wipes her mouth.
Ha ha! Delicious. So bloody delicious. Tell me, little man, do you know why the soil here is so very fertile? Do you know why it's the only place in Reaper's Coast where blood roses grow? It's the corpses, darling. Blood roses only grow in soil rich with corpses. I'll need more roses soon enough. I already started with the last traveler who interrupted me. Come, let's make next year's harvest a real bounty.
You see a glimmer of hope flicker across Slane's eyes as he notices your approach. It's quickly doused with a practiced scowl of the oft disappointed.
Have you brought it? Or am I to remain a slave?
Slane rears back in eagerness, grasping the purging wand with razor-sharp claws. Before your eyes, the source from within the wand surges into his draconic form, filling him with a light so bright that you must shield your eyes from the glare. The blazing brightness dies down. Squinting, you now see no dragon before you, but the figure of a handsome lizard. A handsome lizard with the same eyes as Slane. His eyes still blaze, a piercing silver. A triumphant smile dominates his face as he bows extravagantly before you.
Slane, at your service. Neither. Both. I am a dragon knight, the last of my bloodline. Shifting between two shapes is our greatest gift. If everyone thought like you, this vile place would be little more than a sunny island. Perhaps before we are done, we can return it to such a state. Knowing such a steadfast and noble soul offers help to those in need gives me great comfort. I'd like to offer you the same. When you are truly at a loss, when you have no choice but to back down or perish, you will find safety in my shadow. This, I promise. This is an island of many mysteries, of many horrors. I'll learn what I can. Perhaps there is some possible reprieve for the souls who suffer here.
Slane smiles at you and turns to leave. He takes no more than a few steps before he shimmers out of lizard form, blurring in midair back into a majestic dragon that soars away. young magister tenderly fingers 2 fresh gashes across his eyes and face. His fingertips hesitate over his closed eyelids. He's been blinded. At your approach, he spins to face you and readies his shield.
Stop! Stop! Who goes there?
He raises his sword.
State your name! Now! Escaped. Hold still. I need to apprehend you.
He sidles blindly beside the cart, groping his way toward you.
I can't let you go. It's my job. It's why I'm here. Don't you understand? You're so dangerous. It isn't your fault, but you are. If you leave this place, you could bring a void woken on your head at any time.
He continues to grope toward you, his sword clenched tightly in his hand. He opens his eyes a fraction of an inch and winces, stumbling over a rock stuck in the mud. He clings tightly to your forearm, getting his bearings on the marshy ground.
Undead. They overturned the cart, dragged us out. They wanted to rip us apart. We beat them back, but they got Faray through the heart, got me across the face. Landin went back to the fort to bring help. I have a job here. I might be injured, but I'm still a good guard. Now, hold still.
He pulls a pair of shackles out of his bag and holds them out, open toward you.
You're dangerous. You hear? I need to protect people. I need to protect you. Wait. Do you hear that? Oh, gods. Oh, gods, they're back! died without you. Thank you.
His head suddenly falls forward. He starts to sob, though no tears fall from his wounded eyes. He stands stock still, then collapses into you. You nearly lose your footing with the weight of him.
Shite. Oh, it hurts so much.
His heavy sobs shake you. He buries his face in your breast, winces with pain, and rests his cheek in your shoulder instead. Some minutes pass.
What's your name? I'm Jace. Jace Loke. It's good to meet you. I wouldn't have expected a sorcerer to help me. Why? Defenseless? I guess you're right. For now, at least. I'll be healed. Later. This bleeding, rotting, God's-forsaken infernal bog. We had orders from Bishop Alexander himself. There were valuable artifacts left in this place, from the days of Brachus Rex. I can hardly fathom all the years between us and him. I can hardly fathom a day at a time. I probably shouldn't have mentioned that. It all just seems so pointless.
His hand hesitates at his belt, where a pair of shackles dangle.
Get out of here, okay? We never met. No one has to know. I won't forget you either, Sabine. Goodbye. I would have died without you. Thank you.
His head suddenly falls forward. He starts to sob, though he stands stock.
Shite. Ugh.
His heavy sob.
What's your name? I'm Jace. I wouldn't have expected a sorcerer to help me. Why? Defenseless? I guess you're right. For now, at least. I'll be healed. Later. No, please don't. You're a sorcerer. Your magic is dangerous.
His hand hesitates at his belt, where a pair of shackles dangle.
Get out of here, okay? We never met. No one has to know. I won't forget you either. Goodbye. Who's there? I can hear you. Captain, is that you?
barbarism. What happened here?
An old elf's pained gaze passes between the crucified. He seems on the brink of tears.
Dear ones, not like this. Not like this. Not like this. They're as good as my family. But I cannot heal them. I cannot heal them. So much pain. They are changed. That Dallas woman did something to their minds. They won't be moved and they can't be healed. They resisted at all costs. They can't even be healed. Using such magic on them would kill them now. Such beautiful souls, corrupted by such evil. They're called shriekers. Upon sight they blast passers-by with source so powerful none can withstand it. Instant death, that is guaranteed. Where you find shriekers, you can trust the divine order is hiding something they desperately want to keep private. Fate of my dear ones proves there must be some such thing on this very island. Stay away from shriekers if you want to live. I know not how much longer my friends here have. These be.
Mercy!
Smoke, blood, and carnage. The Magisters didn't spare a single seeker.